Guy Code with Rarest.
Welcome to the first episode of 2021. I am Rena Osware, and I'm glad to have this first episode with you guys this year, 2021. 2020 was a really great year for the manosphere. I really thank all the listeners, all the new subscribers to the podcast who have just been introduced to Guy Code and to me, Reno Swearer, and that you are joining us on this platform and on this journey of self improvement and just building back our masculinity, being the best version of ourselves. Now, I'm really excited about this new year. It took a while for me to publish this first episode of the year, but we're here now, and I'm ready for a really good time with you guys, to have really good discussions, have a different way of presenting this content for you guys, and just give new content, present it in a way that will help all of us. I appreciate that. Now, the first episode I chose for this year will be about the Sigma male. There was one listener who really was interested in finding out what is this Sigma male that the manosphere has been going crazy about for the last maybe 8 months. We all know what an alpha male is, what a beta male is, but what is a Sigma male? And I will get right into it. Now, a Sigma male is said to be the rarest archetype of the male structure or the male group in the manosphere, right? We have the alpha male, the beta male, and a very rare group of the sigma male. Okay, sigma. Now, there are certain qualities sigma males have, and I just want to share them with you guys so that you may understand and you may find out that you are one of these sigma males. Now, number one is that sigma males ignore societal expectations, right? We all know the alphas are usually the typical leaders in society, are seen to be the typical leaders and have characteristics of a typical leader, right? So they fit those characteristics. That's what alpha males are. So alpha males are the ones who start trends, right? They're influential. They have a charismatic personality, so they are able to influence and start trends. Beta males are very good followers, so they follow the direction of the alpha male and follow those trends. Now, sigma males do not start or follow trends. They march to the beat of their own drum, right? So they march to the beat of their own drum. They do what they want. They do not have the charismatic and extrovert personality of the alpha males that can influence other people to follow them, a large group of people, but they still do not follow the sheep mentality. So they march to the beat of their own drum. They are very independent minded. They do not care for trends. They do what's comfortable to them and to their principles, which we will get into in just a minute. Okay. The second thing you guys need to know about Sigma males is that most of them are minimalists. Sigma males are minimalists. They do not care about material stuff. Fancy new toys, fancy new objects don't really impress them. They go for what is functional, what makes sense to use. Some of them do not want a very expensive sports car because they don't think, what's the point of having a speedometer that can go up to maybe 280 kilometers per hour? And I know very well I won't take it to the track and get to experience the full power of this engine, the V12 engine. So they will choose what is functional, if they're just going to be driving around the city and they will never take their 4x4 off road. They will just choose something that will get them by in the city, right? So they are minimalist. They will choose what is functional. Alpha males, because of their personality, they tend to choose what is most high status and what they feel they deserve. Since they feel they are high status, they choose what is the best and maybe very grandiose stuff. That's characteristics of a Sigma male. They are very minimalistic, right? So instead of spending money to get all these objects and new toys, they use those resources, right, to advance their skills daily, right? And a Sigma male really believes that life is not driven by what you have, but by what you can do. They are driven to be able to do more than they could do yesterday. They're driven, please excuse me, guys. They're driven to build their skill set, to get better at the skill set instead of getting all these materialistic things. Number three is that Sigma males struggle with authority, right? Especially in the workplace, because these are men who really like doing stuff their way, and they really are passionate about how they do their work. So they are very self motivated. In fact, many business owners have Sigma male tendencies because they are dedicated self starters, and they are the epitome of working in silence, right? So they are very okay with starting off something by themselves, you know, learning how to do it by themselves, getting better in their craft by themselves in silence, not posting anything, and just getting to learn and getting the skill set of being the top 10% experts in that field. So they are very dedicated self starters, even when no one is looking. Even when no one is looking, no one is there supervising their and evaluating their journey, they will do it by themselves. So when they have someone hovering over them, they really feel that they are really confined to a box and that they are really pushed to a corner because they are not allowed to express themselves in the way that they want. So Sigma male will most likely have issues with authority, especially in the workplace and places of their jobs, or even school or anything, because they really want things to be done in the way they feel is best to be done, right? The fourth thing is that Sigma males shield their passions and interests. They do not feel the need to share, okay? So most Sigma males, you will not find them posting all their interests or maybe even their job description on their bio in social media. They're the kind of people, maybe you've seen kind of people that you've known them for a couple of years and just lately you find out, oh, you also do Forex? Seriously? Or you also play this amount of instruments? Or you also play this sport? And it seems like you're always time, every time you tend to get to know something new about them that you didn't know before or you didn't know from the first impression you had with them. An alpha male will most likely tell you his whole rap sheet within the first impressions you'll have of them, that I do this, 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 and this, and this. And they want to show that they're an expert in their field, which is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But a Sigma male is more likely to withdraw and keep their passions to themselves because, as I said before, they are very self-disciplined, right? They're self-starters. They work on their craft by themselves and in isolation. So every time you may meet them, you may find out something new that they do and something new that they are good at. So Sigma males most likely will shield their passions and interests and will not advertise their accomplishments because most of them totally do not need external approval for their accomplishments. They'll put a goal, dedicate to that goal, and when they accomplish it, they will feel proud by themselves, and that will be enough for them. Okay, so they will have this whole skill set that you will just find out later on. So maybe with an interview, they will just say, I'm good at this, and this. And then you find out they over deliver because they have more skills than you actually thought they have. And to most people, it actually impresses them and they are pleasantly surprised. Okay. The fifth thing is that Sigma males can lead, and when they lead, they use the strategy of humble leadership. Okay. Alpha males tend to lead very aggressively because they're very extroverted. So they tend to express themselves very aggressively because honestly, we all know that fear is a very good motivator, right? Fear is a very good motivator. And alpha males take advantage of that and it works most of the time. However, sigma males do not feel that they need to instill fear on people. They tend to lead by example, to tend to show their dedication through their example, through their own work ethic, and this will influence their followers to being like them. Maybe if your boss is a sigma, you might just find that he just normally is the first person in the office and the last person to leave. The working hours are the same, but you just notice that he puts in extra hours. He will not try and dictate and command people to do more hours, but he will just show that I do more hours and I take my work seriously. And through that role model and that, showing as an example, he will influence his followers to be just like him because he's a serious figure or an influential figure in that space without being commanding or without being aggressive, right? The sixth thing I want to say is that they feel like they can get things done better on their own. In fact, they feel like they can get more done on their own instead of maybe being part of a company. So a sigma male most likely could turn down, you know, a higher position in a company and instead choose to start off a new business and register a new company under their name and become their own boss, have full control, have full leadership of that company since it is their own. So a Sigma is actually more interested in being able to express themselves and their individuality instead of having more status or more influence in a certain company. And Alpha might take the job because they want to show more status and more influence, which there is nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing. A Sigma is just different. The status and the influence and the title doesn't really impress them as much. They're more interested in that will I have the capacity and the ability to express myself in the way that I want to, in the way that I feel is authentic to me and my skill set. So Sigma male will definitely be more inclined to starting off and registering their own company instead of having a high position in a company that they're already working in. The seventh thing is that Sigma males are confident introverts. Okay, as I have highlighted in previous points, that most alphas are commanding extroverts, right? They have a commanding presence. They walk in a room and they just have this presence. The whole vibe changes. They are very commanding. Their energy is very, contagious. Their energy is very, it draws people to them because they just have that larger than life persona. Okay, Sigma males are not like that. Okay, they have the confidence of an alpha, but they keep to themselves. that silent confidence. They could walk in a room and just sit at the corner and mind their own business and watch the kind of things that are moving around in the room and watch the vibe in the room and just evaluate it before they speak. An alpha male is more likely to walk in a room and just want to influence everyone to connect to his vibe, right? He doesn't matter what kind of vibe you're on or what mood you're on, he'll want you to adapt to his mood. But a Sigma male will first evaluate the room, check out exactly what is going on, what is the dynamics of the social, circumstance I'm in, and then give his input, right? But they will do it confidently. So a Sigma has the same confidence as an Alpha, but they just tend to keep to themselves. They are confident introverts. The eighth thing is that a Sigma is a master chameleon. This will sound very controversial, right? But what I mean is he's very adaptable. He can act like the rest of the people. He can fit in with the herd, but he knows very well he's not part of the herd. He can fit in with them. He can fit in with the betas or the omegas and just normal people. Fit in with them, get liked by them, but he knows very well he's not part of them because his validation comes from inside, not externally. So, as it is outlined in 48 Laws of Power, that you can act like the rest but think independently, this is what the Sigma does. For most people, he will find them very relatable. He'll be very relatable to most people. For people who are more loud or express themselves in a certain way, he will relate to them. To people who are very more reserved, he will relate to them. So he knows how to fit in every social structure. Why? Because he first evaluates the social structure before he puts his input. So in that way, he's a chameleon. He's not a hypocrite. Let me mention that he's not a hypocrite. He still stays true to his authentic self, but he just knows how to be able to move in these different groups and be wise about how he moves, right? He's not trying to put on an act. He's still his authentic self, but he just moves in a way that is wise and clever in order to achieve the goals he has set out and the purpose of him being there. So that is how he's a master chameleon. He's very adaptable. The ninth thing I want to share with you guys is that Sigma males live by the quote, integrity or discipline is what you do when you are alone, right? Alphas tend to work in the spotlight, can perform in the spotlight, can do their job very well in the spotlight, and most of them, you will see their journey. They will post their journey. I went from here to here, now I'm here and I want to go here. I put my goals out there, he will put their goals out there. This is what I want to reach. He'll document his journey everywhere and he will get that goal, and that is a good thing. But a Sigma male will have his goal by himself, write it down in a journal, private journal, follow it up, and execute and accomplish it and have his own fulfillment by himself. He will not share that fulfillment with everyone. He won't look for external validation to feel fulfilled, right? So he will most likely make a goal and able to execute it and finish it by himself and get his own accomplishment and his own sense of validation from accomplishing that goal. They live by the quote that integrity or discipline is what you do when you are alone, not when you're in the spotlight and documenting it. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with documenting it, but that's just not how Sigmas move. The last thing I want to share with you guys is that freedom is the most important thing to a Sigma male, not responsibility, not status, not money. It is freedom, right? Freedom to be their authentic self, freedom to live life by their own rules, even if it means they have to live in isolation. They will get the validation that I'm being my authentic self, living to my true self, even though many people may find it weird or find it unorthodox. It's okay because I'm getting the validation from the most important person I know, which is myself. And that is just how they live, because freedom is very important, and freedom is the most important thing. Unlike other male archetypes, where maybe to make an impression, status is more important, to a sigma male, freedom is more important. That is why they would rather live life by their own rules in a fairly isolated life, and that is okay to them. It doesn't have to make sense to everybody. As long as it works for them, they will be happy with that. And that is all I wanted to share with you guys in this first episode of 2021. Expect more episodes coming by. They're going to be very good. We're going to be switching up different styles. We're going to be experimenting, but we all want to give that valuable content for our self improvement. And I just want to add a last clause as I finish and close this episode and this episode, is that if you obsess about your position or the kind of male archetype you have or you are, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. Okay? Because you will always be insecure. You will always be trying to get in a room and say, okay, who's the alpha in this situation? Who's the beta? Who's the sigma? Do not be obsessed with that, right? Just be your authentic, true self, right? And do not feel needy. Do not have that need and craving of getting a certain validation that do they see me as an alpha right now? Do they see me as a beta right now? Do they see me as a sigma right now? Do not be obsessed over that. Just try and be your authentic true self, because that is unique and that is enough. That is enough. Okay? Do not show any neediness or any craving or desperation for validation. You should focus on just being a better version of yourself every day, and that will be enough. So as I share these male archetypes, just sharing some information with you guys so that we are in the know, but I really hope that none of you are really obsessed about this, walking around wondering who's an alpha male here, who's a beta male here. Do not do that. Be yourself, live life, and life is for the living. And on this journey, we're just here to help each other and become better. So until next time, you guys, we shall talk soon. Bye.
Guy Code with Rarest.